Okay, in this video we are going to learn how to find the slope when we're using a table or graph. I'll make another video when we're using equations. Alright, so let's talk about what a slope is. A slope is the steepness of a line. Alright, it's how fast the line is going up and over, basically. We usually call this rise over run. Alright, let me write that a little better. But anyway, we do rise over run usually when we're following this. So rise over run. Really what this means is that we are going up, which is the change in y over the change in x. X is what we do when we go across. Alright, so I just want to talk about the formulas a little bit. There's a couple of formulas. One is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to talk about this quite a bit. In fact, we'll use this one more than probably anything. We could also use, when we're trying to find the slope, they use the letter m to represent the slope. And we usually say the slope is like I said, the change in y over the change in x. We also like to use rise over run. That's what I was just showing you there on the little diagram. Alright, so we're going to do one. Remember, we're going to use the change in y over the change in x a lot. So let's go to the first slide. Alright, so here's our tables. We've got two of them here. Thought we'd do two of them. And the first thing I want to do is I can pick 2 points if I want to. I mean, there's other ways you could do this, but I'm just going to make it very simple. We always call this one y1 and y2, and we can call this one x1 and x2. So otherwise, the x1, y1 represents an ordered pair. All right, the x2, y2 represents the second order pair. I mean, it's pretty obvious. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to use that slope formula that we were talking about earlier. All right, so the slope is, if I can get my pen to write, the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so if you can see the way I've drawn it here, I have y2 is negative 2. And then this minus here is always a minus, so we'll put that there. Then our second y, our y1 I mean, is also a negative. All right, now we're going to find our second x. Our second x is negative 1 minus, because there's a minus right there, and then it's a negative 5. Now remember, two negatives when they're together make really we're multiplying them, so it makes a positive. So these both are going to be really positive. So here's what I have now. Negative 2 plus 4 and negative 1 plus 5. And when I do this, I should get 2 over 4. Now I have to simplify this, so I just divide both of them by 2 and my answer is 1/2. So what this means is that I rise 1 and I run 2. Alright, so that means I'll go up 1 unit and then over 2 units. Up 1 unit and then over 2 units. And that's how it works. Now, if it's positive, you can go up, which is positive motion, and you can go to the right, which is a positive motion. You also can go down, which is a negative motion, and to the left, which is a negative motion, but two negatives make a positive. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. So we're going to go ahead and and it doesn't matter which one we label y1, y2, x2. So we're going to say this one's y1 just for fun. This one's y2. This one we're going to say is x1, x2. Remember, we have to keep them in pairs. Well, I'm going to go ahead and erase this so we can work this other one out. And we're going to use the exact same formula again. So here we go. The slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Alright, so I'm going to just plug them in. 750 minus 480 over, my x values was 100 minus 40. Alright, so I got to figure out what 750 and 480 is, so I can take 750 minus 480. If you don't have a calculator, you just basically do it this way. So it looks like it's 270. Over, looks like the other one's 60. Now, they both end in 0, so I can mark those out because we're dividing by 10, so I have 27 over 6. They're both divisible by 3, so it looks like 9 over 2. So our slope is 9 over 2. Or we could say 4/2. Most slopes are written as a ratio or a fraction. So this is rise and this is run. Alright, so that means I go up 9 units and then I go over 2 units. Up 9 units, over 2 units. And you can see this is kind of steep. The line would be very steep in this case. Alright. Let's go on. What if we have a graph here? So we have a graph here. How do we find the slope? Well, I want to practice the rise over run here. This is the rise over the run. A lot of people like to use this one when they're doing a graph. You don't have to. You can pick 2 points and do what we just did. So I'm going to pick, and I'll use a different color so I'm not mixing up. So it seems like where I have them where the x-intercept and the y-intercept are. That's this guy right here and this guy right here. And I remember rise means go up or down. So I'm going to start with this point right here, and I'm going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5 units. Now I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I went over 7. So my rise was down 5, but over a right positive 7. Alright, so my slope is a negative 5/7. Now the negative slope means the line is going down. If this was a positive slope, so if it was a positive slope, it would be going up. If we look at ours is going down, so that looks correct. Remember, rise or run. Down 5, I'm just connecting it where the 2 lines intersect. If you look right here where I'm circling, there's a little intersection there. And we want to fix where our line touches that intersecting line. And so that's why I picked the X and Y intercept, because it looks like it goes there perfectly. Alright, I wouldn't pick anything over here because it's not actually going through the intersection. Now this one looks like it is, but I think it's because my line's a little bent. Let's try another one. Alright, so here's one right here. Now, by looking at the line, what do you know about the slope? Is it going up or is it going down? Well, if you don't know, remember we read this from left to right. Alright? So I'm going to pick 2 points here, and sometimes you're just kind of getting lucky if you can kind of fix 2. I'm going to go ahead and say this one, because I know that is, and this one. Alright, so again we're going to use the slope formula, which is rise over run. I'm going to go up 1, 2, so I went over 2, then I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went over 7. So I went up, which makes it a positive. I went to the right, which makes it a positive. So that's a positive 2 and a positive 7, which is 2, 7. And this right here would be my slope for this case. It kind of makes it a right triangle if you notice that. And we could check this again. We could go up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if we had a good line here. But that's how you would find the slope on